Hello there. I am recording a tutorial today on how to use Alex to build an iOS app. So we're going to make a flight tracker in Xcode. I'm going to search for Xcode and open it. Great. This is the first view you see. Lets you either select a project or create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one. And here I'm going to select this tab, iOS, and then select Application, hit Next, name it Flight Tracker, great, and then select Swift UI for the interface, language, Swift, everything else is fine. Hit Next, hit Create, move the previous one to trash, and yeah, now I have my project. So what I can do is I can resize Xcode, and you can see that Alex is following Xcode, great. Now, we have a pretty blank app. There's nothing here, but that's fine. What you see on the right is Alex, and we're going to tell Alex to design a flight tracker from scratch and then create it. So I've selected Claude Sonnet 4 here. It's a pretty good model. Other good options are Gemini 2.5 Pro, O3 is a really powerful model, but Sonnet 4 is a good all-around model. So here I'm going to start by telling it, hello, please design a new flight tracker app. In fact, I want you to create a plan for this app, save it to memory, and then create images for the app design. Then go ahead and create the code for it. Cool, gonna hit send. And now Claude is gonna start doing its thing. So great, it added a note with our plan for the things that we want to create. And now it's gonna create an image. So it's actually using ChatGPT's image generator, which is the best image generator, and it's gonna start designing that. Oh my God, all right. It created a lot of images. So, nice. Not bad. I like these. Okay, so now it's actually gonna look at these images and try to implement their designs. So you can see it already created some suggestions, and you can see the preview of the files that it's creating. It automatically applies these suggestions and creates files. So for example, here it created a flight file. You can see it's here in a new folder called models. It then created a flight service file. It added the contents here. Now it's creating a home view. Great. That is in the new views folder that it created. And then it's going to create a new flight detail view. Cool. Now it's going to create the saved flights view. Great. Now it's making the main tab view. All right, awesome. And now it actually suggested a change to an existing file, content-view.swift, and it tries to build it. All right, so let's stop things really quick. So it tried to run my app on Xcode, but my phone is connected to my computer, so it required it to unlock. I'm just going to quickly change this to simulator. I'm going to use iPhone 16 Pro. This will just open a simulator in Mac, and Alex can see the simulator. I'll show you in a bit. So this build failed because I stopped it, but I can just retry it, and this will rerun the build action. You'll see now. So it builds in Xcode, and it will use any errors that it finds in Xcode and iterates on it. So if it has any errors, it'll try to fix it. And if it works fine, like in this case, it'll actually take a screenshot of the simulator and add it to its context. Okay, first screenshot was blank. Great, now it tries to run it again so it can see what it created. By the way, not bad. I mean, the design is pretty good. And I can even like the different flights. I can, wow, I am impressed. I haven't done this before. I mean, every time you talk to the model, you get a different result. So, oh God, all right, stop. I started going crazy. So let's stop it right there real quickly and see what we created. Great, so we see rows. We can, I believe, search for flights. It filters them. And we can see the flight details, whether it's on time or not. This is all mock information. This is not real. So that's the next thing I want to get to is how can we actually connect a real API to our application. Oh, and this is our save flights. I guess it's the save flights are not working yet. All right, fine. Cool. So this is usually how I like to work is to create different chats for different tasks, right? We've already had a decently long chat here with a ton of different files. So I'd like to tell Alex, hey, this is good enough. Let's start from scratch. Not from scratch, but let's start a new context, right? So over here, I'm going to click the plus button. And that creates a new chat. We have a clean slate, but the good thing is Alex actually indexes all these files that it created, right? So now you can actually go into the settings and you can see the index files. All these files that were created are now in its index, so it knows they exist. And also, it added it to its notes before. If you remember, the first thing it did was it took a note that we're actually going to create a flight tracker. So it knows what we're working on. So it doesn't like require the chat to know what we're doing. Great, so I've created a new chat. Now, I'm going to stop my app from running. Great, I'm going to tell it, great, we've made the initial version of the app. Now I just want to connect my the app to a real API. Can you search on Google if there's a good flights API? Maybe even Google Flights API? So Alex can actually Google things. And this is really powerful because that means it can get up-to-date information even if the LLM is out of date. So now it's searching for free flight API, real-time flight data tracking. So it Googles things like how we would Google things. And now, let's wait. Cool. So it actually Googles something. You can actually click on these actions to see the results. So you see it's hoverable. You can click on it and it says, this is the research it tried to do. So it gets some options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It seems like the first option was aviation stack. So what it did afterwards is it started Googling for aviation stack. And now it learns how the aviation stack API works, right? So it says, based on the search results, aviation stack looks like a good option. It offers 100 free API requests per month, which is perfect. First, let me read the current flight service to understand how it's structured. So now I can actually not only research how things are done on the web, but it can research things in the project too, right? Because we didn't give it any information about the files. So it read the file flightservice.swift. Then it says, okay, let me create a new API service to handle aviation stack. And then it created the file for aviation stack. Then now it's going to try to update flight service with this new API. Cool. You can see the lines that were added. in the preview here. And you can even click this little button to expand it. You can see, okay, these lines were added, these lines were added, and you can even click this open diff viewer view, and you have a full screen to look at things. You can even reject individual chunks if you don't like it. This is more like pro usage. Yeah, it'll keep suggesting things. Oh, here's the good part. Now we ran into a build error. So it tried to compile the app and the compilation failed. So then it took the errors and tries to fix it now. So let's see. Okay. Build succeeded. Fixed it. Great. Uh-oh, there's a problem. So the app actually crashed. Hold on a second. Let me just tell it. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot of Xcode and I'm going to say, okay, it seems like the app crashed on launch. I can see the issue. There's a crash related to UI refresh control not finding its associated scroll view. Now it's going to try to suggest the change to home view. Cool. Made the change. Now it's going to try to compile. Have to stop the previous process there. Okay. So now it compiled. Great. It ran the app. Now you can see it actually errors. So it says perfect, the app is now working. I can see the flight tracker interface. The API integration is up, but I can see an error message there. Now it's going to try to use HTTPS for the API. And then now it compiles. Let's see if it fixes the issue. But here's the problem. We actually need to get an API key for Aviation Stack. Let me stop the response right now and go to aviationstack.com, and it gave me a helpful link. So I'm going to accept all, sign up, free, cool. Oh goodness. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to fill this out real quick. All right, great. So I signed up and I got an API key from Aviation Stack. Let's see if it works. I've never used this service. So I just pasted my API key here. It says where your API key is here, so I'm just pasting that there. And then now I'm gonna run my iPhone project again. I use the keyboard. Oh my God. It's working. I literally have not, I haven't done this tutorial before. It's the first time I'm trying it. So I did not expect it to work on the first try, but it's working. So let's see. Wow, this is a real flight. That's amazing. Oh yeah, this is the Rome airport. This is crazy. Let's see if there is anything going from SFO. Yeah, there's a flight. I mean, it just departed from San Francisco to Chicago. Wow, so cool. All right, so I don't know. This is working now. I'll just tell you what I did to run the app. If you're new to Xcode, I basically did Command R to run the app, or you can come here and click the start button. So yeah, that's what it did. And I mean, I can go on from here. I can say, for example, we can fix a bug, right? So when I'm liking the flight, it's not adding it to my saves. So let's start a new chat. But before we make a new chat, I really like the state of my project right now. I don't want it to change, right? If something happens to it, I want to be able to come back to this exact state. So we have a thing called checkpoints. So there's a button over here, or you can click a button there. I'm going to click Save Checkpoint, and I'm going to say, working fine with API. So just describing the state of the app right now, and it says checkpoint saved, so I can see my checkpoints all the way up there, working fine with API. So in the future, if anything happens, I can click that and then restore that checkpoint. So I know it's all good. So now that we've done that, let's just tell it, can you please take a note of everything we did today? So now this will memorize what we did. There's also a button for it here. It's called Summarize and Update Memory if you want to click into that. But I'll cover all the little features in another tutorial. The features in another tutorial, in a future tutorial. Okay, great. So it added the note. Great. Now we know it's in our project memory. So I can create a new chat and I can tell it, all right, now there's a little button next to this camera button that gives me some options. I can either attach a file, I can capture selection, or I can capture a window, right? So by default, it's capturing a window, but I want to really zoom in on one part of it, right? So I can click on capture selection and select just a part of it. We also have a lot of different ways you can add images here. You can either copy paste images, or you can even use Apple's default screenshotting, right? And then just drag an image right in there, right? So if you drag an image, it'll work as well. But I don't want this, so I've already added the image. Great, I'm gonna tell it, okay, so it seems like when I click save, the red button shows up, but when I go to my saved tab, it doesn't show. And I can even go to the save tab here and take a screenshot. Now it has 2 screenshots, and then I'm gonna hit send. Cool. So now it's trying to read some relevant files. It added the save flights view and 2 other files. And now it says, I see the issue. In the flight service toggle something method is creating a new flight object, but it's not preserving the ID, which whatever. So we're just vibe coding, so we don't need to know. Cool. Build succeeded. Now it's launching. All right, it launched. Great. Now it's going to try to run and whatever, but we can stop the app right now. So here, okay. Well, it's not there. What the heck? Come on, man. Okay, let's see if it still shows if we run the app again. Nope, it's not running. All right, well, I'm going to tell it, well, it's still not showing in the saved flights tab. All right, now I'm going to go on to something more advanced. Normal LLMs are really simple, right? As soon as you hit send, they're gonna give you a response, right? This is the normal way you can talk to LLMs. But now there are other ways as well with reasoning models. So I can actually think before answering, right? So Claude Sonnet itself, it has a thinking mode, right? I can click this think button, and then when I send the message, it'll think about the response before writing some code. And this usually increases the quality of the outputs. So I've selected think, or I can use Command T to toggle think, and then hit enter. So I said, well, it's still not showing. Now let's see. Okay, so now it's in thinking mode. You can see this grayed out box is its thinking process. Found the issue. Let's hope you really did. Yeah, seems reasonable. Okay. All right. It worked! Amazing! Oh my god. Wow. This is incredible. Wow. This is even nicer in this view. This is crazy. Wow. Okay, now you have a flight tracker. So if you want to run it on your phone, plug in your phone, connect to your phone, and then run it there, you may need to go here in the settings, and then go to signing and capability, and then create a team, and then there are tutorials out there for that. Maybe I'll make a different video on it as well. But yeah, for now, this seems to work. Congratulations, you have your own flight tracker, and watch some of our other tutorials on more advanced things you can do with Alex. Thanks.